Good evening, everyone. I'm going to start with a little introduction of the event tonight. So welcome to the European Investment Conference. So the event will be composed of 5 startups pitching for investment. And we have also 4 advisory members present tonight who will ask questions and advise the startups on their business models in order to challenge them and provide some added value. So we will start by introducing once again the Startup Club. So we are a global community of over 70,000 members, such as yours, the investors. And what we do is we try to bring together the key players of the startup ecosystem in order to make investment possible for startups and for ideas to be known and to be able to get some investment and bring ideas into real businesses. So we will start by presenting the 4 members of the advisory panel we have tonight. So Zoe, if you can start by introducing yourself, please.
Yeah, sure. Hi, everyone. I'm Zoe. I'm an investor at Newfund. We are a French-American pre-seed seed fund so like 70% of our investments are in France and the rest is in the US, in a few words.
Thank you. And Tom? Yeah.
Hello, this is Tom. How do I do this? Hello, this is Tom Duffy. We represent and work with over 60,000 investors in our LP membership. And we've been doing this for about 30 years. We look for interesting and provocative business models to help grow internationally. And we're looking for anywhere between a 4 and a 20x profit on each project.
Thank you very much. And now Antonio.
Hi, everyone. I work for the Strategic Investment Fund at the Bill and Melinda Gates Foundation. We're a 2.5 billion evergreen fund investing to further the programmatic goals of the foundation in early stage technology companies around the world. Effectively, we invest in fintech, in agri-tech, biotech, healthcare tech, logistics, and I'm very glad to have the opportunity to meet you guys and your ideas.
Thanks. And now Thomas.
Hello, everyone. Thomas Bigagli. So I'm the ventures lead and senior venture associate at Plug and Play Tech Center. So Plug and Play, it's actually one of the most active early stage investors in the world. We invest mostly in seed and Series A, co-invest, and we provide a lot of value to this startup through our portfolio promises, simply because we are also the largest open innovation platform in the world, connecting startups to more than 500 large corporations all around the world. So from the Silicon Valley, where we have our HQ, to Tokyo, Japan, in 45 offices globally.
Thank you. And so tonight we have 5 brilliant startups: Airstage, AutoCoinCars, ALCHEMY AI, Outgoer, and Evo Opportunity Fund. So we will start in this order with Airstage. So I'm going to start showing you the 5-minute pitch video, and after which we will have a 10-minute Q&A session led by the advisors. And obviously in the audience, please feel free to contact individually all the startups and also ask questions in the general chat. By way, they're able to connect with you later on and continue networking and hopefully going into an investment. So I will show you the first video.
Holy shit. I haven't seen this thing all week.
Hi, I'm Michael Aisawi, and welcome to Airstage. Very welcome. Welcome to Airstage, the next generation ecosystem for live entertainment, where we connect in a very simple and powerful way artists, fans, and venues. You can scan the QR code and download the app on the Google Play and Apple Store. So Airstage is filling a void in the entertainment industry where we connect artists, fans, and venues. We allow artists to monetize their live events, and fans can get closer and support cashlessly within the app their artists. Why now? Airstage is not a streaming app. We're focusing on the live eventing, which is a huge market today. As you see on the left, it's a growing market. The streaming is replacing physical sales, so music industry is growing. But the new revenue split of this new market is not in favor of artists. Streaming doesn't bring any money to artists anymore. They need to play live to survive. The good side is also that fans, users, look at events more than ever. Live events are more necessary than ever. If you see here, 90% of the consumer will spend money for live events before dining out, restaurants, and traveling. The opportunity is we want to be a key player in a multi-billion-dollar market, which is untapped today. On the left, you have the $46 billion reported market. In the center, the green we're focusing is the untapped market. The street musician, the buskers, the 100 million Facebook page of artists, the unreported club shows, private concert, music lessons. And we're surfing on the growth of the market industry and the cashless payment system, which is growing a lot. Problem is artists, their problem is money. Venues, their problem is promotion. And fan, their problem is engagement, support their artists more. Our solution is a super app, which allows on the left, artists and venues to make money, promote themselves, build their fan base, and manage their clientele. And for the fan, we help them to support, find live events around, and get closer. They will use as Airbnb or Uber of live events. Our product is already in the market. These are screens for artists. You can book an artist, you can create an event, and you can manage your fan base, top donator, top supporter. This is the screens for the fans. You can scan this QR code, it will take you directly to the artist, and you can pay directly the artist from the app. Traction, we already started in Europe successfully with the money of the founders. Festivals, city venues, and ambassadors. We had UNESCO International Jazz Day, city venues here in Paris. We did Paris, Milan, London, and Berlin. And our ambassadors are artists onboarding fans. Business model is based on 3 pillars. Lion's share is transaction. Any support, any booking, we take a fee. We have subscription model for venues. The app is free for fan, free for artists, as Airstage Pro is for the artist. One-off sales for festivals, who are you in 48 hours, they get their festival app thanks to Airstage. Where we are, everybody is on the streaming on the up left or ticketing or video streaming. We are not this. We are on the right where we are focusing on entertainment and fully integrated with payment system, geolocation, and event analytics. Our competitor between brackets are more the Airbnb and Uber. We bring the success of Airbnb, Uber to the live entertainment. Our main differentiator is our crowd analysis, event monetization, geo promotion, the fan base management, very powerful and detailed, easy to use. In a one simple app, you log in as an artist, as a fan, or as a venue, and it's fully integrated with all social media. If you look at the competition here, again, interesting, on the third column, it's empty. Nobody in the entertainment industry is doing what we do, location-based experiences, customer management, and cashless crowdfunding. Airbnb, Uber, or Patreon does this. These are our benchmarks. Our go-to-market is online point of sales with universities, festivals, clubs, studios, and ambassadors, artists, celebrities. This is a team, very experienced team and more junior team, and most of them are already engaged and shareholder in the company. These are some testimonials from users in the US and in Europe. These are our financials for the next 5 years. This is our first 12 months post fundraising. And Airstage is really a community for the entertainment. We're launching Airstage TV, Airstage Academy soon. This is where we are positioning. We are happy to answer any question you may have. Thank you.
Thank you. Thanks a lot. I guess I'm going first here. Super interesting space. It reminds me, your presentation reminds me a lot of a company that was up and coming in San Francisco in the early 2010s, like 2014, called Eventbrite. So Eventbrite based a lot of its go-to-market on the long tail of the market and event discovery. And it was kind of like the same offer, except the way it created a network effect, let's say, was through a lot of like free events, and its business model was based off of fees off of ticketing. I guess my one comment, my biggest comment to you guys would be like, how do you differentiate yourself from an Eventbrite or others in the market that are doing similar things, including analytics, beyond saying we're going to be the Uber of these types of events? Yeah, I don't know if I can wait for an answer, Startup Club, or if I just list my questions. What's the format?
That's a good question.
Can I
Yeah, you
answer?
can, I think the best thing to do is one question, and then we get so Michael the chance to answer,
Yeah.
and then
Okay.
we can continue.
Yeah, happy. Absolutely. If you look in the entertainment industry, as you saw on the mapping, you have two main groups. Either you do ticketing, which is Eventbrite or Ticketmaster, owned by Live Nation, or you do streaming. Eventbrite will be one brick integrating via an API with us. So it's totally different. What they do is ticketing for events, and they could have their solution integrated with our event when we are doing events with ticketing. So today, Airstage is mainly, you create your profile as an artist, you can manage your fan base. With Eventbrite, you just take your ticket, the event is finished, that's it. Here, it's artists and fans connected together.
Plus, you geolocate events, because this app is dedicated to physical performance.
Okay.
So if you have an event with Eventbrite, they will be integrated. We met in Los Angeles with Live Nation, and they proposed to integrate Ticketmaster, which is a competitor of Eventbrite owned by Live Nation for ticketing. So we're going to have, today you can book an artist, you can donate, tip the artist in the app. We'll add a third button, ticketing or merchandising, which will route to these people.
Got it. My understanding was that they also had an offer on the organizers side of things. But okay, very interesting.
There's one more aspect to it, that that we're creating a global community worldwide. As a musician, I travel all over the world. That's how I joined Airstage. And the fact that musicians now using Facebook as a tool to advertise how they work, they always get caught up in the fact of how many places they can go, how many people can see them. With Airstage, you create your own community, which means that the Airstage brand itself would become synonymous, like Uber, as you say, for a taxi. You want to find a concert, most artists will join us because of the fact of a lot of things we offer them. So there's a flip side, not just to the public, but there's for the artists.
Yeah. I see. And it makes a lot of sense, given like, Ticketmaster's fee is ridiculous, it's like 12%, right? So you might be able to.
Or SoundCloud or any of these others. This app is for the artist first.
Got it.
Which would make the artists bring on more people, which means more revenue.
Got it. I think my time's up, so I'll give up Mike.
Yeah, Tom, it's your turn.
All right. So the one question is, what are the streams of income? There's got to be, you're doing a membership. I guess it sounds like it's a membership situation, but is there an advertising part here? Or is there so on and so forth? I mean,
three streams of revenue: transaction fee, subscription one time for festival, and monthly subscription. The lion's share is the service fee. Each time a fan transaction. Each time a fan is making a donation to an artist or booking an artist, hey, come to play to my birthday or my wedding, we take a service fee, and this is the lion's share. The app is free for the fan. The app is free for the artist. If an artist wants to have the premium version, he will pay for Airstage Pro, and he will be able to get analytics to see who came to his event, who put a picture. Each time you put a picture on an event of an artist, the artist know it, and he can manage with a CRM the top artists, the top fans, and the top donators. And festival, it's one-time fee.
What is the equity situation? Is it all 100% owned? Did you already give away equity to your investors? What's the situation on your equity position?
We have a very clean cap table. which is mainly the founders. My brother and myself, we put a lot of money into it, and that was the strategy. Didn't want to dilute ourselves early. I'm a previous investment banker, resigned 4 years ago to be full-time on this. Then we had 2 business angels who invested, one from France and one from Seattle. And now we're just opening our pre-series A.
Okay, and how much money are you looking for?
5 million US.
Okay, all right. It's good. It's good. I think it's really good. I think this could be a good add-on to, we used to do a lot of stuff with with different stadium venues. And one of the problems was that they didn't have revenue. They, especially now that you have a lot of events being done without people in the stands, you have to figure out another way of getting revenue. So I think this could be a really good move for stadiums and any outside event, not outside events, but any events that are inside for right now. So.
Yeah.
Actually, with the app, it's very easy for any kind of venue to organize an event, actually, because you can locate artists, you can engage with them, you can organize your event, you can and you can make money out of the payment or the donation that the fan are giving to the artist.
Oh, I think it's got a really good it's a good opportunity. So, and how is the investment being done? Are you taking 100,000, 200,000? What are you looking to, how are you setting this up?
Good point. We're not looking to raise 5 million with let's say 250 or 50K, but we've put the minimum to 50K, and this is where it is more than just money. We have, for example, people we're approaching in Los Angeles, in LA, where there are celebrities, and of course we're talking to a big celebrity at the moment. Them putting 50K, the value is much more than this. So either somebody bringing the go-to market, which is access to festival, because our solution, we're doing now our commercial offer for festival. We tell them in 48 hours, get your festival app. Why developing it 9 months, use it 1 day, next day in trash bin. So either people bringing go-to market or access to technology or to scaling up the team or branding like a celebrity.
Okay, good. No, I think it's good.
And with the artists, and with our branding, we're looking at artists who kind of use this app as part of their legacy, especially when we're talking about people in the entertainment industry. You know, a lot of them, we lost a lot by COVID, and a lot of them are getting old. And a lot of them say, well, you know, I want to leave my mark, or I want to do something that's going to help the more of a social venture. And Airstage covers that point too, because it helps the young, the small artists. It is not just about just the money-making thing. It's about a social app that helps people get on their feet a little bit more. So a lot of people are getting involved in a lot of projects like that. So that's another aspect of what Airstage offers.
Yeah, thank you. We're gonna let Antonio ask your questions. We have 2 minutes left. So for this one, maybe Thomas, after, if you can write if you have any questions personally to Michael and Patrick. And Antonio, please ask a question.
I'll be quick. Thanks, Alessandro. Really like the idea. Thank you. Quick question is to make sure I understand right. Who are the untapped market you referred to? You're not targeting you're not targeting the usual artists that already have agreements with venues on an ongoing basis, right? You're targeting smaller artists, and that's a wide space. You're not trying to disintermediate anyone. Is that correct?
We're targeting what we can say 90% of the market, which goes from a signed artist who is not very well known to unsigned artist, or to a busker, a street musician playing in Covent Garden or in Mauer Park in Berlin. And the 10% remaining, the Beyonce, the Jay-Z, etc. We met with creative artist agency in Los Angeles, and they said that it would be interesting for them to manage their VIP fan base, not to make money. 90% will use it to make money, and the other one will use it to manage their VIP fan base. So in a way, we're helping the young guys, the small guy to play with the big guys. So there is a kind of disintermediation, and the idea was born in Burma when we saw a street musician playing, say, we need to give him the same chance as somebody playing in Soho in London. And we're making the monetization where you do cashless, the hat, you can donate directly from your phone. So we disintermediate and democratize.
And one last thing, just really real quick, one thing. We are not a music app. We are covering artists, meaning dancers, musicians, comedians, street performers, actors who do one-man show, anything that does with live performance. So it's not just a musician, guitar player app.
Yeah. But we start with one vertical first and we replicate.
Understood. And I think that sort of the donation element, which I assimilate somehow to Patreon, is really interesting and not something I've seen. Have you seen any traction around that?
Yeah, mainly we have feedback from artists. The first thing they said is finally an app which is for us artists doing 90% of the work while 90% of the revenue goes to others. And they said it's the first time it's not a bull 3 points suspension app, because they were receiving donation in the street when they were playing, and that's the word to mouth. And this is, we today with streaming, they don't, on Spotify, 7,000 people worldwide make more than 100K.
Understood. Thank you. And just sort of the final one to close, have you identified anyone who's come up with a similar model to yours and failed?
No, not immediately like us, because we benchmarked from close to very far, more than 100 competitors, let's we say. Nobody is exactly doing geolocation, payment system, fan base management, and the community, artists and fans communicating. You can have some streaming apps, you can have some ticketing apps, but somebody who is really doing what we do know. We came from the user experience and user interface of Uber and Airbnb. And this is not just funny word, it's exactly what they did, and we're bringing it to the entertainment. 10 years ago, you had an apartment. They said, this is an asset, sleeping, monetize this asset. We say to the artist, when you sing in the street or when we sing in a small club, you'll not get analytics, who came, who clapped, and people cannot donate you. So with us, you can do that. Patreon, you can make support. You go on the web, you do it mainly if you're a painter, etc. But you call your supporter Patreon when you need the money. Here you have in-app messaging. You can see when he's playing. You can search by date, by city, where he's playing.
Thank you very much.
Thank you. So now the 10 minutes are done. And thank you again.
I just had a quick question for Michael. Could I ask him quickly?
Could you please type it in the chat, please?
Of course.
Sorry, thank you very much. So thank you again, Michael and Patrick, for the pitch. Very great business idea. And continue in the chat to, obviously, as I said, every investor to reach out to them. This is what the chat is for. And I saw that also Thomas, who didn't get the chance to ask you some questions, ask them in the chat. So maybe next startup we can start with Thomas. By the way, he get to ask questions to the next startup, which is AutoCoinCars, and I'm gonna show you the video right now.
Hi guys, my name is Luke Wilmot and I'm one of the co-founders here at AutoCoinCars. I'm very excited to share our project with you and later answer any of your questions you may have. So in its simplest terms, AutoCoinCars is a worldwide marketplace and payment service provider based here in the UK. Our marketplace and PSP system links two of the largest industries in the world, that being automotive and cryptocurrency. We have a solution that allows car dealers to expand their customer base and start accepting cryptocurrency as a method of payment, along with giving a real-world usage for anybody with cryptocurrency to purchase vehicles using their digital assets. But I'm going to expand more into this later on. In the meantime, let's just take a brief look at the ins and outs of these two markets. Automotive industry will take very little explaining, and I guarantee every single one of us had some kind of dealings within it. But let's just throw some fast facts out there just to get a grasp on the size of the market. Currently, this market stands around £3.3 trillion per year, with over 78 billion being from the UK, including nearly 8 million used cars being sold every year in the UK. The strengths of this market are simple. It's trusted, it's timeless, and it's ever evolving. However, from the dealer point of view, some are seen as very reluctant to change, old-fashioned in their ways, and limited when it comes to payments. Now, when it comes to cryptocurrency, we definitely don't have enough time to go into anything remotely detailed. But here's some exciting fast facts as follows. This market is worth over £1.5 trillion worldwide already. Here in the UK, we have over 8 million cryptocurrency users. There are also over 9,000 cryptocurrencies available right now, with some great features such as being fast, secure, and safe. However, being a relatively new market and just 10 years old, it's sometimes seen as being very volatile, lacks real-world adoption, and isn't backed by any fiat banking system. So what problems does AutoCoinCars solve? From a dealer perspective, it opens them up to a totally new, untapped customer base. With AutoCoinCars involved, they get paid full invoice prices as we mitigate all the risk. They get paid faster, thus being able to replenish the stock they just sold and move on to a new customer quicker. From a customer point of view, it's giving them a real-world usage for their cryptocurrency, something they may have spent months or years just looking at on a screen. AutoCoinCars takes all the stress and mitigates all the risk. We take care of everything, which eliminates any potential for mistakes and keeps the flow of their digital funds from crypto to car. So where are we today? Being the leading marketplace and ranking #1 on Google for multiple related search options, we already have over 500 dealer partners and over 25,000 vehicles available right now today. Having already transacted over £3 million in crypto to car transactions, we are at the perfect stage for the next level of growth. So what's unique about AutoCoinCars? Our 2 revenue streams give huge potential for high incomes. From the dealers, we have 2 methods. One is charging a monthly subscription fee. The second is a brokerage fee based on a pay-as-you-go system. That means it costs them nothing to advertise with us, and they only pay a very small fee based on the value of the car when they actually transact with AutoCoinCars. Our revenue from a customer is based on our transaction charges. Depending on the transaction value, this is normally anywhere between 3.5% and 8%. So what would an investment look like with AutoCoinCars? With a combined £1.5 million investment, it's going to allow us to reach our target of 2,000 dealer partners and over £150 million in transactions within the next 2 years, which would lead to a year 3 revenue of over £8 million. So to sum up, our marketplace is ready. We are already transacting. We have dealer partners coming on board every day. We are adding hundreds of vehicles every week. Customers at the minute without AutoCoinCars don't really have anywhere to spend their cryptocurrency, let alone buying cars using it. So that's allowing AutoCoinCars to truly become the future of car sales. I thank you for your time, and I welcome any questions you may have.
Thank you for the pitch. And now we can start the advisory board questions, starting with Thomas.
Hello, everyone. Thanks a lot. Great idea. I love this market. I mean, crypto, we all know it's booming when we see the Bitcoin pricing jumping from 11K in November to 55 or even 60 right now. I mean, it makes a lot of sense. I have a lot of general questions that I will ask you in separate, in private messages, but what I would like to understand is why you actually targeted the car market. My second question would be, could you pay only with crypto, or could you split it between crypto and money? And my question is, because when you gave the size of the market of crypto in the UK, how many people are actually, what's the worth of all of the people owning crypto? that's good. However, it would be nice to know on average how much money people got, because if most 99% of the people that own crypto, they only have the equivalent of 1K, you know, with this you cannot really buy a car. So these are my questions. I will send you the rest by private messages.
Thank you for your questions, Thomas. So yeah, definitely people, what we find is people after houses, the second assets they're wanting to purchase with their cryptocurrency is cars. They're seen as a luxury item. There's a lot of people who, at the moment, one of the biggest flaws of cryptocurrency is there's no real world usage or adoption. So what we're allowing people to do is to purchase probably the second luxurious asset that they're after houses, into cars and into any vehicles they want. For your second question, of course, they can pay as much crypto as they want, or they could pay as much finance or fiat, or they can pay. A lot of people we find either pay the whole balance off, or they can also pay a deposit off in cryptocurrency and then finance the rest, or they can pay fiat for the rest. So of course there is multiple options, and all options available for any amount of cryptocurrency to be spent on their vehicle.
Great, thanks a lot for the clarification. I will keep my other questions for later and send you all of these by private messages to leave some time for the other ones.
Thank you very much, Thomas. So Zoe, you can go.
Yeah, thank you so much for the presentation. I guess there's like a key element that I didn't understand, kind of linked to one of Thomas's questions, which is given the volatility in cryptocurrencies, how and given the fact that you mitigate that risk, you take that risk into play. How does that work on your end?
So we run an AI API system that's bespoke to us. So we would receive the cryptocurrency. We would run live rates based from the website. We pull a live rate off, which can mitigate and actually predict the prices and look at the market flow. We then are not holding that currency. We're exchanging that out and paying the dealers out in fiat. So we're keeping this this process as short as possible, and getting the flow of that crypto into fiat to paying the dealer as fast as possible. So actually, by us using our AI system and our APIs, we can eliminate as much of the risk. But again, we have live rates on our website, which help us as well.
So, okay, so as a quick follow-up, how does that work? So does that mean that most of your customers will buy when crypto is valued at a high price, right? Like it was 65K or something recently. Do you see in your current clients, do you see a spike in purchases at that time? Or
100%, yeah. Ultimately, people, the reason why people want to purchase vehicles, because they're more of an ad hoc basis. People might change them every 12 months. So when their crypto has nurtured and made them a value, they can profit take from that or exit that portfolio into a vehicle at the right time that suits them. So whether it's 50,000 or 60,000, it's relative to the individual themselves, so they can exit. And we run a live rate of any time of the day, any time of the year.
Okay, that's it for me. Thanks.
Thank you. And now, Tom.
Are you acting as a banker in this situation, or are you basically just going to be third-partying the money, the crypto?
Yeah, good question. So we're essentially a broker. We're helping link these two huge marketplaces together and helping facilitate this process, eliminating any mistakes, making it seamless. So essentially, we're receiving the cryptocurrency, and then we're exchanging this through our partner exchanges, and then paying the dealers out in fiat in the banks. So yeah, so we're working as more of a brokerage fee with these guys.
How much money are you looking for?
1.5 million.
Okay.
At the moment.
Okay. I'm done.
Thank you. And lastly, Antonio.
Yes, thanks. Couple of quick questions, and one of them connected to Tom's question is, I And a couple of elements of this remind me to AutoOne, which I'm sure you've looked at. AutoOne started as a marketplace for secondhand cars, but eventually transitioned and realized that most of the margins were in the financing element. So as crypto progresses, do you eventually would you eventually consider giving financing to either the buyer or the dealer, and sort of taking a view on price evolution of crypto, or not at all? And sorry, second question, and somehow linked to that, and in danger of stating the obvious, how do you think about regulatory risk around cryptocurrency generally, which in my mind is critical in your business?
Yeah, great questions.
Good question.
So here in the UK, we're going through our regulations at the minute with the FCA. We could be coming to be one of the first firms regulated in the UK. Our AML and KYC and our due diligence policies are world leading. We're pushing the boundaries within cryptocurrency, and we're really pushing the tech with this. We're right on the cutting edge of KYC and AML when it comes to cryptocurrency, which is relatively a new market. From your second question, your first question about the finance, again, with people allowing them to pay the deposits of the vehicle and then financing the rest, this suffices both means. So actually the car dealer can make get the initial deposit paid, and the customer pay the initial deposit, are still utilizing the financing options. And again, in the future, we're going to be leading on the financing on the cryptocurrency itself. Yes, definitely.
Great, thank you.
We have 2.5 minutes more. So if anyone else has a question, first someone in the advisors, potentially.
In the future, you guys going to ever become a bank or do your own financing? I think that was the question that Michael was asking, was will you be going into the financing part? Is that a future plan, or is that?
Yeah, definitely. It's more
or separate entity.
It's definitely into our PSP system. So we're going to be looking at PSP terminals that allow the dealers and the merchants to be able to accept under the normal streams of your Visa debit, but as well adding the benefit of cryptocurrency live on a PSP system. So, but we wouldn't be looking more for the finance. It would definitely through around the banking and the PSP system, and more the technology that we have in and around the speed and transactions of the payments.
Okay, great.
Sorry, just one more question there that actually came up. Have you had any instances where there has been an outage on either end? I'm thinking of an example of Tesla selling a car on crypto, and the buyer effectively paying out, going out of their account and not being received by Tesla. Have you experienced that so far? And if so, how have you dealt with it?
Sorry, can you just repeat that question? You broke up at the beginning.
Sorry, yes. Have you had any problems in communications or outages from one end to the other, in which the customer has effectively seen the crypto go out of his or her account, and it hasn't been received in your end or to the dealers in any of the instances? Because that has been something that, for instance, Tesla has experienced, as you might have read.
Yeah. So again, this is why people use AutoCoinCars as a service. There is people and there is car dealerships that do a peer-to-peer transaction, but this is where the mistakes happen. And we say we mitigate the risk. We have a faultless system that we get and receive a test transaction already of a small nominal amount, which we can then link that the wallets are correct, there's no mistakes happened, and then we go, and then through that they can scan the wallet directly off the website and then pay them funds direct to us.
Okay, thank you.
Very little. We've never had any mistakes. Yeah.
Thank you.
That's perfect timing. That's the 10 minutes that came to an end. Thank you again, Luke, for your pitch. And once again, in the investors in the audience, please continue engaging in the chat as I see you're doing, and also personally ask questions to each of the startups. By the way, you can learn more about it. And Luke, you I don't know if you shared the LinkedIn to the AutoCoinCars website. Maybe you can do that. And thank you again. And now we're going to move on to ALCHEMY AI. And I am going to show you the 5-minute pitch video.
ALCHEMY got its start chasing a huge contract, using AI to assist the Indian government to depollute the Ganges, the world's most polluted river. Against all odds, we won that contract and beat out IBM's Watson for it. Our mission was to simulate scenarios and predict outcomes of investments, optimizing CapEx and OpEx. The Ganges is a life source for 650 million people. We started to wonder, with each degree of increased purity of the water, what would happen if you tracked water quality against population health or measured carbon capture from a healthy river? This is the moment the ALCHEMY vision became clear to us. There are many startups around the world using AI and big data from IoT devices to understand and track environmental risks and climate recovery efforts, predicting floods, detecting disease and epidemic outbreaks, monitoring forest and agricultural health. Turns out, AI is one of our most powerful tools in the fight against climate change. The problem is, these applications are happening in silos around the world. The machines don't learn from the scale of multinational deployments. Their impact isn't measured against global progress and climate recovery. What if we brought all of these AIs together on a single platform to enable them to scale, tracking them on macroeconomic and environmental impact, population health, impact of water source and soil recovery on carbon drawdown? Introducing the PI, the Planetary Artificial Intelligence System, a hosting platform that enables all of the AI applications to benefit from international scale, like an intelligent app store for climate solutions. Artificial intelligence gets smarter and more effective with more data from new experiences. Deployed repeatedly to predict floods, clean up rivers, optimize green cities, the smarter these machines get. AI companies connect via API or develop directly on our platform, benefiting from scale and measurement of their impact. The platform is developed over time to act like a digital twin of the planet, helping us understand and predict what's working to reverse climate change and where else these solutions should be deployed. We know this sounds a bit pie in the sky, so we're starting small. RiverSmart's, the Ganges app, is ready for licensing from governments around the world, but governments move slowly. We needed something to scale aggressively to demonstrate the power of the platform, something with immediate and measurable effects. We chose land. We've been working with Europe's #3 top player in land remediation called Valgo, developing LandSmarts, a machine learning system to analyze data from land depollution projects and drive activities. LandSmarts will learn to semi-automate land remediation, turning legacy machinery like diggers and cranes into autonomous vehicles, reducing OpEx by 60% or more. For a market estimated at $164 billion by 26, that's big progress. The first POC we're exploring is depolluting 70,000 abandoned oil wells, currently emitting 8.5 million cubic meters of CO2 per day. Valgo pays ALCHEMY to build LandSmarts. It's made available on the PI to remediation companies worldwide. That's revenues for Valgo and revenue sharing for ALCHEMY. The same model applies to RiverSmarts. The intelligence from each deployment is ingested by the PI, telling us over time how clean land and water impacts micro and macro environments. ALCHEMY has come far in 3 years, thanks to an ecosystem of partners and seasoned founding team. Experts in AI, blockchain, telecoms, cybersecurity, data science, geology, biology, physics, marketing, and operations. We're in our second year of revenues, forecasting 1.2 million for 22, 2.4 million for 23. By 2025, we're aiming for closer to 100 million. We will be a highly aggressive and purpose-driven organization, scaling quickly. Driving big revenues means that we can go farther, faster. Our initial raise is £2.5 million. to create an MVP of the pie, integrate river smarts and land smarts, and to start to scale and market these apps to demonstrate the power of the pie in order to attract many, many more of these climate solutions. We're in dialogue with the UN SDGs labs. They're looking for a platform that guides and supports decision-making on where to deploy funds to support projects that address climate change and sustainability. But the UN is not the only client we see using the pie for decision-making. It can be licensed via API to any organization to predict their potential impact on climate and human populations. Because we don't believe that CO2 count in the atmosphere and rising temperature are the only tools we have to measure progress towards sustainability. Those insights lie in all of the data coming together on one platform that informs us on human and planetary health. Thank you so much.
Oh, that's a nice one. I like that better.
So we can thank you again, Jenny Marie, for this pitch. And we can start from Zoe.
Ooh, I never know what the order is going to be. Exciting. Thanks, Jen and Mary. This is a super ambitious, very interesting project that is, you know, applicable to a lot of other sectors, like healthcare is one that comes to mind, where if we had the ability to bring all data onto one platform, our AI would be that much more intelligent. I guess my first question is, you know, you mentioned starting small with river smarts and land smarts. I wanted to get a sense of what your revenue / pipe was on that. And my second question is, how do you foresee sort of scaling from those two first products to the planetary intelligence recommendation model?
Oh, no softballs out of the gate there. Thanks so much. Hi there. So land smarts and river smarts are different beasts. River smarts is a government application, and it's taken 3 years to even begin the phase of actually collecting data. So we've been about a year into collecting live data from the actual river, and we had 40 years worth of historic data to train the system on. So we're just now getting it rolling. And in terms of revenue, that's a licensing model that we work with the government on. And in terms of land smarts, we're into our second year of revenues with our partner Valgo. And that's been, we're still very much in R&D phase, initial phase of developing that app. And that will also be a licensing model, a SaaS model that goes out to all of the remediation companies around the world. So Valgo is a really exciting partner to work with because they're in aggressive consolidation of the market mode. So they're buying up companies to help to consolidate the marketplace, because for 164 billion marketplace, it's a lot of small players, medium-sized players, and the large players are not all necessarily from businesses that treat that area as strategic. So if you look at Valgo's big competitors, a lot of them are the energy companies, and they don't treat their remediation division as a strategic business. So the opportunity for automating remediation is huge, because it's a fragmented space and best practices are not shared and therefore accelerated. So we see the revenue ramp of land smarts being much more exciting than river smarts. River smarts is incredibly important, but as I mentioned in the video, governments move really, really slowly. So that's a little bit of a passion project for us, because that's not where we see huge revenues coming from. We see that coming from primarily land smarts out of the gate, and then we've got a pipeline of additional applications that we're working on developing as we speak that we also expect to see revenues from.
Cool. Do I have time for another question?
Yeah, maybe we can pass to Tom.
Okay.
Sorry. So Tom, if you have any questions.
No, I think everything was answered. I've done a lot of stuff in this space, and it's a little bit. I guess I'll take a look at the deck and get in touch with her later.
Perfect. So we can move to Antonio.
Thank you. Terribly interesting idea. Couple of questions to make sure I understand right. So my concern, and probably this comes from ignorance, is how attractive are you as Pi as a host for third-party applications versus the competitors such as Azure or AWS that you mentioned? Is anything beyond a specialization that you offer? And sort of linked to that, I was quite taken by the digital twin of the planet idea. And I thought that only there being government-led initiatives, there is space for private ones. However, should Pi fail, am I right in saying that then you couldn't possibly build the digital twin planet? Or is that not correct?
Really, really clever questions, Antonio. So let me break that up into a few pieces. You're right. This is not the first digital twin of the planet initiative that is on the marketplace. And you're also right that the other two significant ones that we've identified, those are European Space Agency and the European Commission is funding one. I think it's a Dutch company that's putting together. And they're very much government focused and helping government make decisions, but they're extremely long-term in their approach, and they're not to handle single transactions. So should the Pi fail, I think we're going to work on collaborating with all of the other digital twins that are coming out, because this is something that the world just absolutely needs. And in terms of if the Pi failed and how would that impact the apps that were hosted, we're actually going to be primarily focused on data. And the data lake, gathering all of the intelligence of the different deployments around the world, that's a standalone piece of the puzzle. So whether or not the Pi becomes an out-of-the-park success, the actual data is where the intelligence can be gathered. So I don't see that as a specific roadblock. And your question about competition, that's a really, really good one, because indeed, there's Azure, there's AWS, there's Google Cloud, there are other clouds out there. And I think the specialization cannot be minimized in terms of strategic focus and indeed value proposed, because the fact that this is focused 100% on climate solutions and sustainability and bringing together best practices from siloed installations around the world means that we're not really playing in the same game. And certainly we can see Microsoft is very aggressive, Azure is very aggressive with their AI for Earth focus, but again, these are little pieces of their much, much larger puzzle. They're looking to attract the entire enterprise space, small and large. And that's not at all what we're trying to do here. We're trying to bring together best practices for climate solutions that are already being deployed, that need an environment to test in, that need to be shared globally, and that best practices need to be learned on. This is all about training sets for the system to be able to get better and better and smarter at green cities, at predicting flood, at all of the challenges that we know we're going to face very, very quickly.
Thank you so much, Jenny Marie. And don't get me wrong. I mean, the genesis of my question is that I truly believe in your purpose-driven approach, very in line with what I do every day. And I by no means would want to see you fail. But just sort of, since it's something we need, I'm just trying to picture in scenario what happens should one of the pieces not work. But thank you very much for your answer.
Thanks, and Thomas, if you have any questions.
Hello, Jenny Marie. Thanks a lot for your pitch, and glad to have an impact startup pitching today. I mean, it's pretty in vogue at the moment, and also on the corporate side, to be honest, with the Paris Summit that was six years ago. I think all of the large corporations are trying to focus not only on the economic performances, but also on the sustainability side, I would say. And from all the large corporations we are working with at Plug and Play, I would say 99.9%, if not 100%, are now trying to push sustainability. And my question would be, besides working with these governmental institutions, why not also supporting large corporations in their journey? Because you have a lot of data. And if you check the Sustainable Development Goals of the United Nations, all of these large corporations need actually to work on so many different points. So even automakers need to, I don't know, help poor countries to have better education or to have access to clean water. You know, so I think with all the data that you will have thanks to the PI, you could actually support a lot of large corporations in their journey, and this could be another revenue stream.
So Thomas, you're absolutely right about that, and we see that as the ultimate vision of the intelligence of the PI, is that organizations, enterprises can plug in and ask those questions. You know, how are our activities impacting the climate? How are our future planned activities going to have predicted impact? And how can we change our decision making to make sure that we have less of an impact or a more positive impact? And a lot of these apps that we're talking about, some of them are going to be with funded organizations, with, you know, entities that are up and running and have money. And others are just going to be incredibly important pieces of the puzzle that may come from NGOs, that may come from, you know, international organizations, like tracking and understanding biodiversity. You know, there may not necessarily be funding to create all of these apps, but there are more than enough organizations that are really motivated to help support these initiatives. So we see collaborating with and supplying that intelligence to the enterprise market as certainly a very important part of our roadmap.
And just a quick one before listening to the other pitch. How do you actually collect dark data or hidden data? Because you have so many when it comes to sustainability. You know, I was working on a project lately where we actually discovered that in Africa, you have so many landfills full of electronic waste, for example, but they are hidden on the map. And even on the web, it's really hard to find this information. I guess the large corporations are trying to hide all of this. How will you be able to have access to all of this hidden data?
So I think I would probably be the wrong person to answer that, because that would lie in the process and intelligence of gathering data with the actual providers of those solutions. So in the example of tracking biodiversity, we have a wonderful partner and initiative that we want to work with in the Amazon, who are looking at how do indigenous people work with biodiversity and preserve biodiversity of their land. And that data is being collected very much in a secret, sort of careful mode, because they have different risks than we perhaps in France or the UK have. You know, there's threat of death if they're discovered to be collecting data. So that's not going to be our, as Alchemy, expertise in the collecting of that data itself, but it's going to be the projects on the ground are going to be dealing with that activity. So the collecting data is all about IoT devices. You know, it's sensors, it's cameras, it's drones, it's little things in the ground that are understanding the health of soil, for example. So there's so many different ways to collect data, and I think it would probably even be premature to be able to really answer that with gravitas, because we're going to be learning along the way. Satellite is also incredibly important, and satellite has been really helpful to us in the Ganges project in understanding health of the river by colors, identifying, you know, different activities and presence of marine life. So there's so many really, really innovative ways to collect data, and I would actually love to come back to you on that very question.
Amazing. Thanks a lot.
Thank you very much for your pitch, and best of luck with your project. Once again, continue exchanging through the chat. And we are going to move to the fourth startup, Outgoer, and I will share the video right now.
Hello, my name is Johnny Kendall. I'm the co-founder and CTO of Outgoer, an app aimed at creating genuine social experiences. Outgoer is a unique social app aimed to facilitate the connection between users and venues such as bars, nightclubs, lounges, and festivals, allowing users to find and book the best place to go out wherever they are in the world, while also socializing and sharing their experience with followers and friends. Outgoer services the bars and cafe market, which currently has a global market scope of $335.55 billion in 2020, and is expected to grow rapidly in the next few years to $512.98 billion by 2025. With a 52.8% growth in the direct industry Outgoer services, there's an opportunity to grab market share of the new business, but also in turn claim a portion of the current market. Right now, for the bar and cafe industry, social media apps and review platforms lack two fundamental aspects. The first being they don't directly focus on the nightlife, and the second is they don't have functionalities particular to nightlife, such as guest lists, ticket sales, and table bookings. Not having a solution directed towards the nightlife experience leaves people searching endlessly online, leading to waste time and money from trying different services and events that weren't enjoyable. And now they have frustration because they've wasted so much time and money. Business concept for Outgoer is that it will allow users to have the best night out experience. Users are able to fully plan and secure the night out based on real-time information about venues anywhere in the world inside the app, and also see social content posted by other people that are at each venue. Outgoer app features a venue booking system allowing users to purchase guest lists, tickets, and table service to their favorite venues ahead of time. A notification system to tell them the best things going on in the area and upcoming special events or promotions. A content sharing system section that allows users to showcase their experiences to followers and friends, or see how a venue is if it's worth booking. Plus an internal venue ranking and SEO system to show users venues best suited for them. Our main competition is Discotheque, which is a virtual concierge for nightlife. They have a robust booking system, plus are relatively established within the nightclub industry. But Discotheque only focuses on a booking platform. It doesn't have any aspect of social content or interaction. Second is Nightset, a more social content focused around nightclubs for people to showcase their night out, as well as a map system for clubs and bars. Venues get their own page with business information, but it has no internal booking system. It's a little clunky and is also only established somewhat in London. The advantage Outgoer has is that we have an interactive map system, all the most popular venues in real time, both social content being shared by users and venues, and the ability for users to book tickets and tables service for those venues directly within the app. It is a complete ecosystem, so users don't have to leave the app, keeping them engaged and spending more time within the app, adding to advertisement revenue capabilities. We are wanting to have Outgoer ready to be launched in its first version within 6 months, and in 1 year's time be fully launched within Australia and the United States. After that, our slightly longer term goal in 3 years is to be within all major markets. The total of 3 million registered users and 90,000 venues signed onto our platform. For all of our users, the app will be free to use, but we'll monetize our user base by having a small booking fee on all paid tickets and table service bookings, and then also run display ads throughout the app for venues and third-party companies wanting to advertise on the platform. Each venue will have a paid monthly subscription to be on the app, with the basic plan costing $50, advanced being $120, and premium being $200 a month. Once launched, we expect our revenue for year 1 to be $220,000, year 2 to be near $4.9 million, and year 3 close to $9.5 million, with most of the revenue coming from venue subscriptions in the early stages. App development and marketing will be the biggest cost for us during year 1 to get to market and launch successfully. After year 1, we expect EBITDA margin to be around 70 to 80%. Daniel Moore is the original founder and CEO of Outgoer. He's educated in gap partnership, NLP, sales, project management, and entrepreneurship, as well as connected in the nightlife industry within Sydney, Australia. Jake Ellis is a co-founder with me, CMO. He is an Australian TV host presenter and experienced digital marketing sales executive, bringing a great deal of marketing knowledge and connections to nightlife in Australia. Myself, I'm a co-founder and CTO, overseeing the app development, and I have 7+ years of web development, e-commerce, and user interface and design experience, along with connections into Los Angeles and abroad. Ricky Lopez is the manager of Americas, bringing with him 17 years of experience in the nightlife industry. His independent promotion and event production company has secured contracts with top nightclubs and large concert venues, booking major acts including Nelly, Beyonce, Snoop Dogg, countless other superstar DJs. Outgoer is a complete ecosystem of everything needed for a night out, and we believe we can take hold of the growing $512.9 billion market with our team's knowledge, connections into the industry. Thank you for your time. Our email is contact@outgoer.app. Our website is www.outgoer.app.
Thank you very much for listening to the pitch. And we can start with Zoe.
Yeah, thanks a lot for the pitch. Very interesting. A lot of nightlife stuff. I really liked the 20% CAGR due to COVID restrictions. That's pretty that's pretty awesome that you predict that. I hope that's true. I guess my first question is around the fact that you guys need this kind of like critical mass. And I was wondering what the plan was on the venue side and then on the user side, and then like who do you focus on first?
In terms of downloads or traction?
Traction. How do you get like venues to register? How do you get users to want to use your platform?
So we didn't want to charge the venues for the first 6 months. What we wanted to do was obviously sell to them that it's going to be an advertising platform that is specialized just for them. Also, so with Instagram, you actually don't know what venues are doing unless you're following them. So for me, some of my favorite venues, like locally, I don't even know what they're doing because I'm not following them.
Mm-hmm.
So when we bring out a specialized platform for the venues and sell it to them, so it's going to be an advertising platform for them, they will sign up. Like we're actually been signing venues daily. So, and we've also got quite a handy network. Sorry, I'm a little bit nervous at the moment. So
no, take your time.
It's my first time doing this, by the way. So I've got my bottle of water here, so I'm just chilling.
But yeah, in terms of the venues as well, Ricky Lopez, he's based in Las Vegas and then has connections to all the major venues there and abroad as well. So due to Daniel's network, Jake's network, a bit of mine, and majorly Ricky's, is that we have the connection into venues. And like Daniel just said, they've been already looking and signing venues up locally in Sydney, Australia, and they're just talking in the Gold Coast, Australia, signing venues up as well.
Right. Okay. Because I guess it's really tough. Well, if you have a network in venues, that's great. It's tough on both ends. It's tough to get venues to come onto your platform. It's tough to get users onto your platform. Oftentimes, what I've seen in these cases, like looking for sticky niche communities. So I don't know, jazz, electronic music, resident advisor kind of sucks. So like giving an alternative to that. The LGBTQ community is very sticky, the senior community. So that's kind of like the first thing that I went to. And then my second question was around the social aspect. So what type of content do you guys think will be on the platform? Are we talking about everything like video, audio, photos, live video so that you can see actually that it's happening in this or that venue?
Yeah, so we want to have it as similar to the Instagram. It's like the photos and videos for the main page, and then to also integrate for venue pages to have the live feature so that people can put live content on if they're at the venue itself. So that way people can see what's going on live at the event.
Very cool. Yeah, that's clearly lacking. That's it for me.
Thanks. So Tom, if you have any questions. Or Antonio.
I'm muted. Okay, sorry, I was on mute.
Sorry.
I've seen a couple of these things really blow up, but not become a huge phenomenon. They've become very big revenue producers. So I wish you good luck, and that's about it. Sorry.
Yeah. So Antonio, if you have any questions.
Yeah, just one quick question, but before that, I wanted to sort of reinforce the point Zoe made. I think in this type of business, it is critical how you get on both ends the venues and the public into the platform, and there are network effects there, and it's how you think about your customer acquisition costs on the venue side and on the general public side. It's critical, and until you get that traction, it is going to be tough. So getting that right, in my mind, in my opinion, is what should be forefront to you. my question is, how do you envision this sort of closed environment app talking and plugging into other more used social networks? Let's see how does it plug into Instagram, or is there any connection to WhatsApp? Like, what do you foresee there? Yeah.
Like, you want like how it directly plug into like other platforms?
Yeah, I think at the moment it's not, but is that something that looking forward? Because and another thing I've seen as a challenge to these models is becoming too much of a closed loop, and that deterring users. Whereas if you can, that live feed from images or videos that you're mentioning to Zoe, link that to your story on Instagram. How do you envision that working as a way to get that traction flowing?
Yeah, that's a great question. It's hard to say. I'm fully looked in how we would integrate into Instagram, like their policies to be able to actually integrate into like the live stories, because Instagram is very secretive with how they integrate, and Facebook. So we could link into the Facebook and Instagram marketing sides for the business tools to help the venue pages to then be able to show into that. I'm not entirely sure for user end to be able to link into theirs, but that's definitely something that we would look into. And as well as this and the presentation here is to possibly work with people to then get their experience and their knowledge within the industry to then help guide us further. So we're fully open to criticism and advice and thought processes.
Perfect. Thank you.
And Thomas, if you have any questions.
Thanks a lot. Yeah, I totally agree actually with my peers in regard to the videos, the live, in order to assess if this party or bar or event is actually cool and something nice is happening there. I think it's a good way to see if there is potential and you actually want to go there. And my other question actually, because this space have been quite crowded. You have a lot of local players that are trying to do this. Some are not successful, some are successful. I've seen a lot in big cities such as New York, London, Shanghai, Tokyo, similar applications, mobile app where you could actually see where the events were happening. You could book a table in nightclubs and so on. So I've seen actually a couple of similar solutions, but I think something that you could actually add that will be really interesting for you, and tell me what you think, is the equivalent of the Entertainer. I don't know if you know this mobile app where you pay a membership, and thanks to this membership, you actually have a bunch of discounts in several places. So it could be restaurants, events, even bars and nightclubs or whatsoever. But you actually guarantee to the partners that you will bring people, because when you are paying this membership, you have I don't know, 15 to 50% discount in these places, and you have a limited number of partners. You can guarantee to this to your partners that you will bring people, which I think makes a lot of sense in my opinion. And you as a final user, I mean, it's good if you are used to go out, you will have some discount, so you will actually save money, and everyone. It's a win-win situation.
Definitely.
So what we really wanted to do, it doesn't say it on the pitch deck, but our competitors are really Instagram. So what we want to do is take all the best content away from Instagram, being celebrations, birthdays. This is to do with the content, anything outgoing, related to good vibes. When you look at TikTok, look at the impact that they had on the market because they brought out Reels, and it's such a simple feature. Snapchat does all the same thing. Like all these top 5 social apps, they actually all do the same thing, but they've just targeted the sort of vibe where if we target good vibes, that's why I called it Outgoer. Like I originally, wanted to call it Clubber. So that is clubs and bars. So I thought it was pretty catchy. It makes it so limited to its potential. So when people look on Outgoer, you see like nothing but just good energy. And that's why I think TikTok is so good, because it's funny. And it's just constant funny videos. And I think that's where, you know, we can really take off. And as well, Outgoer being linked to travel, later down the track, we can also breach, you know, into other aspects. So that's why I think.
Yeah, I mean, Daniel, I don't know if you are aware of this, but B2C mobile apps, yes, you can see the top of the iceberg and some that are really successful, but 99.9% are actually failing. And of course, the 0.01%, and I think it's even less, are booming. But to do so, it's really hard. You need a super good sales and marketing strategy. You need an amazing UX UI mobile app, and you need to build this community. And by building this community, I don't know if you know the metrics of the B2C mobile apps, but it's pretty tough. Like mobile apps on B2C that are doing great, they actually, on average, have you know, a retention rate, a churn rate of 50% every month. It's a really tough business, to be honest. But if you manage to build this community and scale, I mean, yes, you can boom, but you need to define a really good sales and strategy and be sure that it's going to be a win-win situation, and that your, you know, the user experience is actually awesome. And
really great information. Really great information. Thank you.
Yeah, I think if you take what everybody said here, which is put a couple of the discount things and the Instagram thing, not just one model, but put a bunch of different models together, and you got a shot at really making something happen. But you know, that's like almost like a compilation of all three really good apps. You're not gonna, I think it'll really work, but
yeah.
It is going to take a little work, a lot of work actually. So it's a good team. You have a good team. It looks like a really good team.
Pretty lucky with our network, that's for sure. So, yeah, we definitely see ourselves as being a top 5 app in the world. We're not going to take no for an answer. I know that I'm never going to give up on it. That's for sure. So,
well, it could be good being you got the Australian on the thing. You can do it as also add a sports part to it, which people want to play sports or want to get involved with games. You can add that on too, because that would be a nice way of people finding a place to, you know, to play cricket or play wherever, every kind of sport. That might be a nice little add-on, or maybe a pivot or another option.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, definitely.
Thank you for all your feedbacks, for all your comments and questions, and thank you again, Daniel and all the team, for your pitch. We're happy to have you here, and we wish you best of luck, of course. And once again, continue messaging all the members of Outgoer, and you can contact them to ask more questions, inquire about investment, and please do so through the chat, and of course connect on LinkedIn. I will show now the 5th and last pitch of the night.
Hi, my name is Majesty Gale, founder of Evo Group Holdings and manager of Evo Opportunity Fund. Our fund is very unique. It seeks to develop eco-friendly housing in qualified opportunity zones. We repurpose storage containers utilizing renewable energy systems, with the market expected to reach 73 billion by 2025. The timing of this opportunity is now. We have a goal of raising $20 million with a minimum investment of $50,000. Our mission is to create and develop state-of-the-art sustainable container housing for the world's communities. We build unique spaces out of recycled DCA certified shipping containers. This is done in a short period of time and reduces carbon emissions. With a lifespan of more than 50 years, Evo homes are structured with corten steel, allowing them to be significantly more durable than traditional housing. This is an example of Evo's residential construction. We have revolutionized our building process to create the environmentally friendly homes seen here. When it comes to sustainable container living, our strengths are rooted in a strong land acquisitions process that allows us to stabilize costs and ease through the zoning and permitting requirements. Our proprietary construction strategy brings green housing to the marketplace quicker than any competitor. Here are more photos of our plans. Our company has immense consumer interest. We've been featured in publications like MarketWatch, Yahoo Finance, FinTech TV, and more. We currently have signed letters of intent for our newest development. We have pre-sold most of these lots in under 2 weeks. A lot of our competitors are able to produce container home designs, but lack financing options for customers, do not offer land acquisition or development. This leaves consumers to do the heavy lifting of finding a piece of developable land on their own and dealing with their local zoning departments alone. Our product takes the guesswork out of all of these hoops and delivers a complete project to the homeowner in a matter of months. Opportunity zones are very unique. Investors can find tax benefits in qualified opportunity funds and even more benefits at the 7 and 10-year marks. At the investment level, investors will receive a 100% deferment of capital gains. By the 5th and 10th year of partnership, you can see the benefits drastically increase. Here is an example of how the tax benefits can benefit you. Here's some more information about qualified opportunity zones. The leaders of this operation are extremely qualified in many areas. In the years of business, I was responsible for generating $1.5 million in revenue for Evo Group Holdings. Our company now has upwards of $8.5 million in assets under management. We also give back to the community as the founder and chairman of Push Ministry, a 501c3 that focuses on developing affordable stick-built housing. Elise Gale is a marketing professional who has worked with Edelman, Amazon, and Disney. She has a master's in business administration and currently oversees national marketing campaigns for EGH and has secured earned media opportunities with international reach. The other members of our team include Newton Galloway, Jim Spielberger, John Abernathy, and Jack Wexler. They serve as advisors specializing in land use and zoning law, securities and corporate law, residential development, and architectural engineering, respectively. Here are the terms of our offering. I would be more than happy to answer any of your questions.
Thank you for your pitch. And we can start the Q&A session. Zoe, if you have a question.
Thanks for the presentation. Super interesting space where we actually invested in a startup called Green Cube a while ago that creates homes, well, made out of wood, so a little bit different, but side homes. So actually the first thing that came to mind was, well, who's your user base today? Like who is actually interested in, are they interested in buying land and then they assess what they can build over it? The end-to-end aspect is super interesting because it means that it probably opens up the user case to more people. And then the other question that's linked to Green Cube, how much of your clientele pipe is interested in your product as a secondary home or as like an add-on space? I think that COVID has made us all realize how important our homes are, and how a little bit of extra space can come in handy. I was wondering if that was something that you guys noticed as well.
Yes, we have an overwhelming influx of inbound interest in in a couple areas that you mentioned. One, retail buyers that are just looking for a home for themselves. There's a shortage here, and we're in the States, just to clarify as well, or whatnot, but we see this as a global solution. But we have a shortage here. So they're looking just to have a home for their family, but also as we call them accessory dwelling units here, guest house, as you mentioned, side home. So yes, but also there's another piece as far as large organizations such as the United States government, FEMA. We're getting approached by homeless areas with big homelessness issues as well. So there's large organizations like the Red Cross that are also interested in this as well. But right now we're currently servicing specifically the single family residential, you move into the house with your family type market. But we're working on getting towards scaling and being able to provide more to the side home, even temporary type home, because these can be transported in a lot of different ways. Right. Train, boat, a lot of trucks. So yeah, that's kind of where we are.
Super, super convenient. The container, aspect of it. How much does a home cost? If I were to buy just like a single family unit, how much does that cost?
Well, right now they range, and I'll quote in US dollars at the moment, but we have a solution for the very low income bracket of demographic, all the way down to $85,000, and this includes the land. So we're creating homeowners here. This includes the land, and then also all the way up to more of I would say close to the $500,000 level for your more sustainable focused, as far as the solar panel or solar roof and the window. We just outfit it more for sustainability, which cost a little bit more right now. But we have a wide range of solutions that kind of meet everybody's needs.
I think that's something that, and I'll pass over the mic after because I can sense that my time's up. But the fact that you have like several offerings is actually probably going to be a good thing for you guys if you can position yourself on that portion of the market of like adding some space to a home and maybe a little bit more of a premium product. Our startups revenues have like more than doubled since the beginning of the pandemic. So I'd encourage you to do that. Though it's here in France, I'm guessing it's the same in the US. So
okay, definitely. I'll definitely take heed. Thank you.
And Tom, if you have any questions.
Yeah, we did something with this a long time ago in the islands. They were buying containers and putting them up to, because containers are very good against the environment, and it worked out. It was a short-term investment. We did something with them, and they paid us back within a year and a half. So they did very well with this. I don't know what the cost for the containers was nothing. The movement from moving the containers from wherever they were to the space that they were being worked on, so they became livable, was not much money either. So it was a very, very nice revenue situation. And if you're doing this in the US, it could be. So I don't really have no question. I'm just bringing up the fact that it has worked before. I've seen it work, and it's. I like maybe see the package, and we'll go from there.
Sounds good. I'll definitely send the package, and I've heard about some of those types of developments in other areas in the world. Our goal is to bring that type of energy to the United States, but also tie in the land acquisition piece, which is major here, because there's a shortage of land, and we have an extensive background there. So I would say that's what differentiates us from anyone else doing this, is that we're actually acquiring the land ourselves, building these and offering them as a move-in ready. So yeah.
And Antonio, if you have any questions.
Thank you. Yes, Majesty. Just to that point, actually, I'm not. It's a very interesting space. I'm not very familiar with U.S. specific regulations around opportunity zones. However, I was quite intrigued for the rationale behind acquiring the land as well. And I think that probably links to the amount you want to raise and to sort of working capital issues going forward. So what's the rationale there? And I saw that that's something that differentiates yourself from others. So wanted to double click on that.
And I can only speak to the United States. And one, just to kind of go over the opportunities on legislation, it's some very incentivized legislation that allows for us to have tax-free growth. So all of the money that we make, that we distribute to our investors, is tax-free. So that's why we built that into the model, just to mitigate risk or whatnot. But as far as making sure that wanting to be owners are more so acquiring the land, is because when we started this model, we got a lot of individuals that were interested, like the before mentioned, and then they weren't able to get everything together as far as zoning, their land issues. So we kept getting caught up in their red tape. We wanted to take all of that out of the way, and we personally, that allows us to offer the best end price and also guarantee the schedule, because we could control the entire development from start to finish, as opposed to where most people they just build it in their manufacturing facility and send it to you and then say, hey, you figure it out, or they pass you off to someone else that will install it. But we do everything, and so far it has boosted our bottom line like considerably. At the moment, we have 69 homes under development. I'm sorry?
What is your revenues?
Right now, we have $25.7 million in revenue that we have in our pipeline. And this will generate $9.2 million in gross profit, which gives us a 35% gross margin. It's very, the revenue aspect of it, as you mentioned before, is very attractive. And the housing shortage here makes it very easy to sell these. We have thousands of letters of intent from the general public, a wait list that long. We cannot build these as quickly as we could sell them.
Thanks. And Thomas, lastly.
Yeah, it's really interesting business. Love this space. I mean, alternative housing is booming, and when it comes to sustainability, even more. My question, I have actually two questions. So the first one is, housing market is good, but I've seen similar solutions. Unfortunately, I don't know their names, but that are doing this for large events, for fairs or the Mobile World Congress in Barcelona, the similar container, inside the fair, where that's actually where like some booths. Same in Slush in Denmark. So I think it will be actually a great way for you to generate additional revenue, and on top of this, promoting your solution. So that's my first point is, did you ever think about such a new revenue stream? And my second one is more on the competition side. So there are lots of alternative housing solutions, not only with containers, but as my peers say, you have some made of wood, you have also some 3D printing houses and so forth. So what's actually the real unique selling point, the real unique value proposition that you have in comparison to this to the other players in this space?
Okay, I'll talk to the first question. Yes, we have considered the other revenue streams, and we are currently working with the United States government to be able to mass produce these, as we've received a lot of custom inquiries in regards, similar to how you mentioned, for a fair, or for disaster relief, or for temporary shelter, for temporary offices. There's a lot of solutions that are needed within the pandemic. So yes, we have thought about that, and we are currently working on having our plans engineered so that we can manufacture these on a scale level. Also, as far as our unique selling proposition, as mentioned before, the land acquisition, I believe, is the strongest selling proposition for us. I'm sorry, it seems like Tom is saying something.
No, I'm not talking.
Maybe I'm just hearing some chatter, but
It might be the flow in the background.
Yeah, the land acquisition aspect is the strongest piece. As mentioned before, we're giving a full service experience to the end buyer. They don't have to have any part. It's literally just built to sell. So that is what I would say is our biggest unique selling proposition, is that we actually own the land and that we actually offer it as a fully finished, fully completed product, as opposed to just a product that you purchase and have to figure it out for yourself. And that's specific to the States. Once again, we have very challenging zoning and regulation laws here. So most of our competitors are not able to do what we are able to do, because, as mentioned, we own the land and we specialize in acquiring land under market value. That was my introduction to real estate. That's what I've been doing for the past several years, and that's what we specialize in. So cost is very important here, and we're able to offer this and also get it funded by mortgages that are backed by our government. So affordability is a big key here as well.
Amazing.
Thank you very much.
Clear. Thanks a lot.
Now the Q&A time is over, unfortunately, and therefore I would like to thank you for your pitch. And altogether, I would like to thank everyone who participated at the event. First of all, so the advisors, thank you for your insights into similar companies and what you know in the industry. Thank you for your questions. And once again, continue connecting with them if you have further questions, if it's something that you would be interested in investing into. And for the startups, congratulations. Really interesting pitches tonight, very different ideas, and really interesting. And we look forward to hearing how does the fundraise goes and how successful your business will be. So thank you very much. We will share a link to the other events we have afterwards. So if some startups or some investors want to participate in other events, please find the link right now in the chat. And once again, thank you very much, and continue even after the Zoom will be over. We will share the link to the video that we will put in YouTube. By way, investors that were not able to make it tonight will be able to see the pitch once again. You can share it as well for the startups. And yeah, thank you very much, and have a nice evening, everyone, and keep it going.
Thanks a lot.
Thanks a lot. Have a good one.
Bye.
Thank you to everyone.